We are back with another Premier League predictions video. This time it is match day 33 in the Premier League, and we got some huge matches which include Spurs versus Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa versus Newcastle. So after these predictions, if I get a few of them right, we will be doing a forfeit. So you guys comment down below what forfeit I should do. The most liked comment, I will do that. Now if I get 2 right, then we will do a forfeit basically. If I get none right, then no forfeit. So let's not waste any more time and let's get right into it. Now first game we have is Brentford versus Brighton. This game's gonna be pretty tight, so let's get started with Brentford. They have been doing not too bad this season. Form-wise, it's been not the best. Like last game they played Arsenal, they drew 1-1, which for them is a pretty solid result in my opinion. But Wissa scoring in that match as well, he has been great for them throughout the whole season. Now I'm not sure what's happened to Mbeumo in recent games, but he has not been getting assists or goals, so he is a key player though for the team. But on to Brighton, they have not been doing too bad this season. Like form-wise, it's been quite rough. Last game they played Leicester and they drew 2-2. It was a very big surprise. I really expected Brighton to win that game, and I do believe a standout player for them is João Pedro. I believe he got both goals for Brighton in that game. He is being looked at by many clubs, so maybe he will leave. Now Mitoma and Minta are pretty underrated players as well. Now my prediction for that game is gonna be a 2-1 win for Brighton. Moving on to West Ham versus Southampton. This game should really be going only one way. Personally, that's what I think. But let's get started with West Ham. They have not been the best this season form-wise. It's not been too good as well. Like last game they played Liverpool, they lost 2-1. Their only goal came from Robertson's own goal. They are currently 17th place. It's actually wild to me, especially with the players they have, like Kudus, Bowen. It's actually pretty crazy. They're near the relegation zone. Onto Southampton, they have been horrible this season. We all know that form-wise, as expected, it's been pretty horrible. Currently set in 20th place, confirmed relegated, so they basically have nothing to play for anymore. The last game they played against Aston Villa, they lost 3-0. They're probably arguably one of the worst teams we have seen in the league. Now hopefully they can play with no pressure and just enjoy playing football. Now my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for West Ham. Moving on to Everton versus Man City. This game's going to be a super good one. Let's get started with Everton. They have been quite decent this season. Form-wise, they have been doing decent as well. Last game they played Nottingham Forest and they won that game 1-0. And I do think they deserve to win that game as well. It's crazy scenes as Doucouré scored the winner in the 94th minute. That's crazy. Ever since David Moyes has come in, they have been doing so much better just in terms of results. Now onto Man City. They have been alright this season. As we all know, it's a little bit of a underwhelming season for their standards, but form-wise they've actually been pretty decent. Like last game they played Crystal Palace, they went 2-0 down, but they made the comeback to win 5-2, which is huge. Marmoush and KDB basically ran the show in that match, and Man City currently sitting in 5th place and they are pushing for the Champions League. The 5th place is open for the Champions League now. So Haaland, as we all know, he's out until around the near end of the season. I mean, Man City found a way to score goals without Haaland, which is good because they weren't scoring too much before this. Now my prediction is going to be a 3-2 win for Man City. Moving on to Crystal Palace versus Bournemouth now. This is going to be one of the most underrated matches, so let's get started with Crystal Palace. They have been doing pretty decent form-wise. It has not been too bad, although last game they played Manchester City and they lost 5-2. We mentioned that like literally in the last section, but they started the game being 2-0 up early on. They did choke it, unfortunately, but Ismaila Sarr is such a good winger for them. He gets involved in nearly every single attack that Palace has, and Eze is back to scoring and assisting in games as well. So they're slowly finding their form once again. And onto Bournemouth, they have been pretty decent this season. Form-wise, it's not been too bad, honestly. They did have a few bad spells for a few games, but last game they played Fulham and they won 1-0. Semenyo scoring the only goal, and he really has it all as a winger. He has the physicality, he has the pace, he could finish, dribblings there, just a complete winger. Personally, that's what I think. Currently, they are sat in 8th place, so they could also push for European football still. Very underrated side, I would say, for sure. Now, my prediction is going to be a 2-2 draw between the two. Moving on to Aston Villa versus Newcastle. This game is going to be so good. So let's get started with Aston Villa. They've been doing pretty decent this season. Form-wise, it's been going very good for them. Last game, they played Southampton and they won 3-0. Before that game, they beat Forest 2-1 as well. So the new signings have been performing very well. You got Rashford, Asensio, and Malen have been very key in those past few games. And currently, Aston Villa is sat in 7th place. So yet another team pushing for a European position. Now onto Newcastle. They've been doing very well this season. Their form has been very good as well. Like last game they played Manchester United and they tore them apart. They won 4-1. Harvey Barnes was incredible. He managed to get a brace in that game, and this team's really pushing hard for the top 4. They are currently sitting in the 4th spot and they could get the 2nd place spot potentially. Now Isak has gotten 20 goals in back-to-back seasons. So last season and this season he's got 20 plus goals. Unbelievable. One of the best strikers probably in the world at the moment, and my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Newcastle. Moving on to Ipswich versus Arsenal. This game could be a very interesting one. So let's get started with Ipswich. They have not been the best this season. Form-wise, they're struggling quite a bit as well. Like last game, they played Chelsea and they drew 2-2. Now, Ipswich were 2-0 up in that match, but they did let it slip. Now, currently, they are sitting in the 18th place, so in the relegation zone, and form has to step up for them if they don't want to get relegated. Now, Enciso finally got a goal for the club as well, but he's been, I would say, a pretty decent loan to bring into the club. Now onto Arsenal. They have been doing alright this season. Form-wise, they've dropped a little bit recently. We have been making games quite rough in the Prem, but the last game we played against Brentford, it ended 1-1, and I did think Zinchenko, he did quite well in the midfield. He was creating chances. He was also quite threatening in front of goal. He was taking shots, something Odegaard does not do too much. But Gabriel, we all know he's out for the season, so we're gonna have to stick with Kivior. Kivior's been pretty decent for us ever since Gabriel got injured. The good news is that Saka is back and he's slowly getting back to full fitness. Now my prediction is going to be a 3-1 win for Arsenal. Moving on to Manchester United versus Wolves. This game has potential to be super good. So let's get started with Manchester United. They've been struggling this season. Form-wise, it's not been the best for them. It's actually been pretty bad. But the last game they played, Newcastle, they lost 4-1, and they really are struggling quite a bit offensively. Hoyland has not been scoring goals. I believe he has like 1 goal in 25 games. That is outrageous. It will start until the end of the season probably, as Xerxes, he's pulled his hamstring in the last game that they lost against Newcastle. He's most likely out for the rest of the season. United fans are now starting to question Amorim as well, but I think you should give him a little bit more time. But honestly, the quality of play in that team is not good at all. It's not looking good for them. But onto Wolves, they've been pretty decent this season. Form-wise, they've been very good. Like last game they played Tottenham, they beat them 4-2. This team is playing some very nice and clean football. I think they will go up the table in the next few games. And Cunha, as we all know, he's been a very key player in that team, but the team has been playing some very good football. I'm a big fan of how they play football now. The new manager, I think he's definitely made a difference. Now my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Wolves. Moving on to Fulham versus Chelsea. This will be a super underrated game, so let's get started with Fulham. They have been alright this season. Form-wise, they've also been not the best. Like last game they played Bournemouth and they lost 1-0. I would say Fulham are for sure an underrated team for this season. They're currently sat in 9th place. Another team that could push for Europe. We got multiple teams. I think like the 10th to like 5th spot, it's very tight. It's like maybe 5 points or so between those. It's unreal. A very underrated player has been Robinson, in my opinion, one of the best left backs in the league this season. And before the Bournemouth game, they actually beat Liverpool 3-2, which was actually crazy. Now on to Chelsea. They've been alright this season. Form-wise, it's been decent for them. Like last game they played Ipswich, they drew 2-2, but they were actually 2-0 down in that match, but they brought it back. A lot of people are also questioning if Maresca is the right man for the job. I think what he's doing so far, he's been doing pretty decent, but currently they are sat in 6th place, so they are pushing for the Champions League spot as well. As of now, the 5th place spot has opened up as a Champions League spot. So Sancho, I think he's always been a good player. You just gotta allow him to take on defenders, and sometimes he likes to free roam as well, which kind of suits how he plays. Now my prediction is gonna be a 1-1 draw between the two. Now Leicester versus Liverpool, we already know which way this game is going, so let's get started with Leicester. They have been pretty horrible this season, I can't lie. Currently sitting in 19th place in the relegation zone. Big yikes. Now form wise, it's been pretty bad. Like last game they played Brighton and they drew 2-2, which was a okay result, but they're very close to getting relegated as well. Lavidity is a player that really catches my eye. Whenever he's on the ball, it looks like he will make something happen. I think one of the only players on the team who kind of makes things happen. Now the overall play from Leicester is nice, but they need to get more results. Now on to Liverpool. They have been the best team in the league. Now form wise, it's been pretty decent for them. Last game they played West Ham and they won 2-1. Now Van Dijk got the winner for them in the 89th minute with a huge header. Now Liverpool have been incredibly good throughout the whole season and quite clutch as well. And Mo Salah has recorded the most goals and assists than any other player in a single season. He has surpassed Henry, and Salah has gotten 45 goals and assists. So that's pretty crazy numbers for him. I mean, it looks like Liverpool pretty much have the title on lock now. They just need 6 more points, and yeah, that's just game. Now my prediction is going to be a 4-0 win for Liverpool. Moving on to Tottenham versus Nottingham Forest, the last game. And this game should be quite a good one, so let's get started with Tottenham. They've been truly awful this season. Like form-wise, it's not been good for them as well. Last game they played Wolves and they lost 4-2. I do think Angie might be in for a sacking very soon, especially if they lose to Frankfurt in the Europa League. I think that's it for him. But Matthias Tel is a player that does seem like he is trying, but the team around him is not really performing too good now. It's crazy. Spurs had a fully fit team nearly in their last match. They still did not manage to win. Onto Nottingham Forest, they've been doing very well this season. Form-wise, it has not been the best for them. Last game they played Everton and they lost 1-0. I didn't expect them to lose to Everton. It was a very tight match though, but Forest are still third place, so they have impressed many people, and they can secure that Champions League spot, which would be huge for the club and which would surprise a lot of people. And I think Gibbs White and Chris Wood, they deserve some credit for what they have been doing this season. They have been phenomenal. Now my prediction is going to be a 3-1 win for Nottingham Forest. Thank you guys for watching the video. Don't forget to drop a like, comment down below all your predictions as well, and don't forget to subscribe as well if you don't want to miss any more videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.